LARPing. It's a term that people like to use when they think you don't know what you're talking about. They use it as a way to accuse you of being a fake fan or having no clue about what you're talking about. But the reality is that a lot of us have been playing this game for many, many years, and there are very clear ways of proving that you were there. So this is just a video of some of the rare items on my account, some of the rare things in my inventory. Just a video to kind of prove that I am not a LARPer. I have been here since the start. I don't know if that's a flex or not, or depressing. I don't know. So you decide. The first one I'll mention, I'll just go quickly about, is going to be the Old Lights emblem. They gave this out during the final update of Destiny 2, just as a homage to the players who were there for every single expansion. If you logged in and played at least once per expansion cycle, you were eligible to get this emblem. A lot of people might have not gotten it because they swapped accounts, or maybe they got screwed over by some sort of email issue, but I was very fortunate to have my entire account the same this entire time. To go even further, my hunter that I'm currently on is the OG hunter from the day one of Destiny 1. Nothing involving, actual items, but this is a little fun fact that I think is pretty cool. Next up, I have the Worm God Incarnation Transmat effect. This is an item that I actually didn't know was as rare as it actually is until after the sunsetting happened. I had this on my account from the early days of D2 during that Warmind expansion, and apparently I got very lucky during those early days. And I was fortunate enough to never need to do that strike again because I got it during Warmind. So I never needed to farm for it or anything of the sort. And when the sunsetting happened, I just had it on my account. And then during Witch Queen, I was told, yo, this is kind of rare. That's kind of cool you have that. And I just didn't even know because it just never crossed my mind that this was a rare drop from that Nightfall strike at the time. Sticking with armor for a second, I have the Prestige Leviathan armor on all 3 classes. I don't know if that's a crazy flex or not, but I feel like it's kind of nice to say that I have that because the purple glow is very awesome and it makes this armor way better than it actually should be. Especially the Warlock armor. The Warlock armor from this raid was insanely awesome. I love this armor. Next I have my Go figure from the Forsaken era. This is the only weapon I have from pre-sunsetting. The only weapon, and it's very upsetting to me because I wish I could have kept more. I just dismantling stuff over the years, Dado being a bad influence, etc, etc. I dismantled a lot of guns, and this is unfortunately the only one I have from that pre-sunsetting era. But it's a good weapon because this is one of those weapons that just carried me throughout that entire expansion cycle. I love this thing. I have about 3,000 kills on it, which, at that time, I'm not like a die-hard, no-lifer of the game. At the time, Forsaken, I was, working a part-time job. So having this 3,000 kills, it carried me. I love this gun. Just a quick shout-out for that because anything that's from the pre-sunset era, it's rare. It's 100% rare. Next up, we have the expired Ramen coupon. This is just one of those items that just proves you were there during that first year, because if I remember correctly, they gave this out during the week before Forsaken's release, so it was the ultimate thing to say that I was here. I played that first year, I experienced double primary, I experienced Warmind, I experienced, the next thing we'll talk about, which is going to be Sagira Shell and Curse of Osiris. Sagira Shell is rare because it required you to do Curse of Osiris related things. And if you remember that expansion or unfortunate enough to play it, you know that expansion was not that great. You had to do, I believe, the Prophecy Wall, which was 11 different weapons you had to craft, which I'm using air quotes here because it wasn't really crafting at that time. It was just, pseudo making the, static roll of the weapon. This is one of those other flexes of saying you were there during that first expansion. You were there during the very first expansion to D2. Even if it was terrible and Curse of Osiris was just a bad time, you still thugged it out and you got all 11 of those weapons and you got Sagira's Shell. It's a flex, 100%. Next up, I'll go ahead and mention the Contender Shell. This is another one of those early day flexes because you actually had to play the raids in those early days. It was an exclusive drop from Eater of Worlds as well as Leviathan, and I believe it was also a rare drop at the time, so you had to get lucky. And it also has a unique function of tracking the amount of Leviathan clears you have, so it's very unique in that way, as I believe there's only 1 or 2 other Go Shells in the game that have a unique tracking function, which is incredibly cool. The final thing I'll go ahead and note regarding my account is that I have 1,000 wings. This is absolutely a flex to be having on your account because it proved you were there during that big 180 moment regarding D2. Everybody knows that the first year of D2 was not that great, and this was the moment where things really started to turn around. It proved that Bungie had the ability to cook still, The Whisper mission came and it really did save D2 in a lot of different ways, and I'm glad that I was a part of that. Not only did I do the mission, I did the mission 3 different times on the hardest difficulty with each singe because that was a requirement to get this ship. So that means I had to do with solar burn, arc burn, and void burn. And on top of that, I did the hidden puzzle within the mission itself. Because of course, every good mission has a hidden puzzle within the mission. This is just awesome to have on my account because it proves, like I said, that I was there during those dark days. You know, we talk about nowadays with end of service and there is no more content, but the reality is that the Whisper mission saved the game in many ways. Because if we didn't get this mission, Destiny could have been dead a lot sooner than we all expected. And I really do attribute a lot of the success that the game has had towards this big moment. The Whisper mission dropping really did save the game, and I'm glad that I was a part of that experience. Just being able to say that, it makes me happy. Anyways, that was just a list of the different items on my account that are kind of rare. Obviously, I don't have the rarest account in the world. There are people that have rarer things than me. So please, do me a favor. Flex on me. Show me the rare items in your inventories, on your account. Show me those things that you know that you have that no one else does. I'm giving you a proper chance to flex on me. So, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.